All right. So I've built here basically the same thing I built the first time I played on this seed. Just a little hole in this hill. This is going to be all I need to store a whole bunch of food and my bed. And looks like we still have some time in the day. I I'm just gonna let's see, what do I need here? I'm gonna want to make some firewood. I'm gonna make some firewood and stack that up right here. You can just put it on the ground. And really the next thing I want is more storage space. So that's actually gonna require even more reeds. I guess I could get started on gathering some clay, but I want to get some of this stuff out of my inventory. I want to place this dirt, I want to place this rye and grains and stuff down. So I need some reeds. And maybe while I'm over here, I'll gather a tree or two as well. Well, my axe only has enough durability for probably one tree, but I can make another one. Lead ore bits. Okay, cool. And wow, that takes 3 cattails in each slot and a full, 8, whatever 8 by 3 or 8 times 3 is. That's how many cattails it takes to make one regular reed basket. And this one regular reed basket is going to store a whole bunch of stuff for me. It has 8 slots. For now, I'm going to leave it outside. Doesn't need to be inside. Well, no, it doesn't need to be inside just yet. And I'll go ahead and put my food here. I'm going to just keep the berries on me because I'll probably eat them before they go bad anyway. We'll leave the dirt in here and we'll leave the twine, the flax fibers. And getting a little bit too dark now for gathering a tree. So let's go ahead and get some more dry grass and make another bed. Actually, can I make a wooden bed with... No, I need boards, so I'm gonna need copper to make boards. There's 3 of those. Make another hay bed, and we'll wait a little while before going to sleep. Maybe I can make a crude door. I need a couple logs for that. Oh! There's an animal on top of that hill. It looks like a moose. Okay, so it looks like the animal spawn areas are also the same with the same seed. So there's going to be moose spawning up on top of that hill and potentially a bear spawning off in that direction, which is cool. Now, animals in this game can be really deadly. Like the male moose, they will attack me if I get too close. Bears and wolves will also attack me if I get too close. But I picked the hunter class, which means that I should be more equipped to handle these animals. And I should be able to actually take them out, which will get me a lot of meat and hides. And hides are going to be important for leather working, which I have not explored yet. But I'm very interested in making some leather. Apparently, that's the next inventory upgrade is a leather backpack. So I can kill an animal, get its meat, take its hide, and take the fat off of the animal. I can use the fat to oil the hide, and after a couple days, the oiled hide will turn into a pelt, which I can turn into a backpack. So, do I have any meat? No, I don't have any meat on me. So I can't burn any meat. Yeah, looking good. This is a pretty good start. Of course, at least partially thanks to the fact that I already know this seed pretty well. Yeah, let me get my torch relit. Place that right there. And let's go to sleep. 8 p.m. Oh, I'm awake. Okay. Yeah, it's still kind of dark outside. Ooh. Look at those big clouds. Are they coming this way? Oh, I don't know, but that's trippy. That's trippy. They're just getting taller, just stretching up. Wow. So there's a big volumetric cloud over here, big cumulonimbus cloud, and then there's some wispy clouds over that way. Some wispy clouds that way. I can't not see anything. Anyway, we're gonna mark this hilltop as the Moose Hilltop. Moose. And I'm gonna go ahead and mark this pond as the Bear Pond, because it could easily be a bear. Moose get purple. Bear get red. Dry grass is not going to be an issue in this biome, and probably neither sticks. Lots of bushes here. Lots of bushes in this area, like a lot of bushes. This whole biome here is just flat ground and bushes. And same with this. And you'd think that given that it's flat ground, that it would be pretty easy to traverse, but not always. Walking through these bushes is kind of... Whoa, what was that? Oh, is there pigs? I think there's boars around here. Oh, look at all these berries. Nice. Yeah, there's plenty of berry bushes around, just like around, so I don't really need to relocate them. It was the reeds I wanted to relocate so that I would have plenty of reeds. We're gonna close that up. I'm gonna close that hole. And as soon as it gets bright enough to travel, which it should be very shortly, I'm gonna go get some clay, and we can start clay forming. Now, where did I mark down clay? I can also look on the map here and see if I can just find a patch. That might be peat. I should also dig up some peat if I have the opportunity. I marked some clay right here. There's blue clay. It's a little far away. This is where we spawned, over in this little delta here. It looks like this is sort of an ocean biome, sort of surrounding this area here. I think these mountains actually have some cave underneath them that just the water goes straight through here. I may be wrong about that, but I think this is like an archway here where the water goes through and it connects up to this big water over here. I know that there is a gravel biome down here that's going to be a good place for prospecting when I get the prospecting pick. I've never really been up here onto these mountains. I sort of avoided this area before. Next thing I need to do is get clay, though. I'm going to leave my axe here because I won't really need it. The grass grows so fast. All right. Now, if I put the shovel in my inventory, anywhere in my inventory, even on my hotbar, and I'm using this other shovel and it breaks, it'll get automatically replaced. So let's go ahead and pin this blue clay on the map. And now it's pinned on the mini map, and I can just head straight for it. And I'm going to be, going back and forth in this area a whole lot, gathering clay and copper and peat. And as I do it, I'm going to go ahead and mark down all of the crops that I find and all of that stuff. And eventually, this map is going to be filled with all kinds of markers. It'll be like I know the land like the back of my hand, And I kind of already do because, like I said, I've been playing on this seed already. But having the map filled out is very, very satisfying. So every time I see something, I'm like excited to mark it down on the map. Can I get this? Got a hair. Put out my torch, but that's okay. Are you gonna give me meat? Yeah. Oh, wow, hares give me red meat, not just bush meat. Red meat can be used to make meals. Bush meat can't. And meals are going to be very important because I'm going to have to start thinking about my nutritional balance. I'm going to have to actually, balance my nutrients. Okay, here's some clay. We just dig this up, and then we can start clay forming. And I'm going to go ahead and get probably a good 2 stacks. Should be good enough to start with, I think. Just going to grab this stuff right out of the ground. Sometimes you could be chopping down a tree, and in the middle of chopping down the tree, your axe will break, and if you don't have another one, it just sort of chops half of the tree down instead of, making you restart, which is kind of nice. At least you get some of your work, right? Okay, that should be enough. got medium fertility soil here. The place where I settled is low fertility soil, but it did have that patch of high fertility soil, which is like really good. All I needed really. But keeping in mind that there's medium fertility soil over here could help me expand my farm later. High fertility soil and the highest fertility soil, which I think is called like Terra Preta or something like that. Those are pretty hard to find. They're pretty rare. So that little patch of high fertility soil was actually a really, really good find, and one of the main reasons I settled over in this area. Also just this is just a good spot. There are animals spawning nearby, but in one of my earlier playthroughs, I actually made a whole house, and making houses in this game is not easy. It's actually a significant amount of labor and resource gathering, even to make just a simple little house. That's why my home right now is just a hole in a hill. But I made a whole house, and did I not mark down any peat anymore? Oh yeah, it's all the way over here. I don't want to go all the way over there for peat. I think there should be some like down in this area, sort of. But anyway, I made a whole house, but I had happened to make it right on top of a spawn area for wolves. And so wolves were spawning outside of my home and stalking me at all hours of the day, just like I'm stalking this chicken right now. And yeah, they kept killing me, and I tried to like flush them out with fire, and it didn't work, and it was a whole thing. So I having animals nearby can be a huge pain. Ooh, I gotta take these feathers because I'm the hunter. I get the bow. And actually, I should probably make a bow pretty shortly here. And some arrows. Okay. I'm kind of looking for peat as well. Ooh, a starfish. That's cool. I would like to get some peat. This peat would be a very nice source of fuel. Super, super easy to just dig up. Not as easy to find. Oh, these flowers are so pretty. I cannot wait to decorate my home with flowers and stuff. But right now I just live in a hole. I live in a hole in a hill. Now there should be some peat kind of in this area. Let me take another look at the map and see if I can see the color change in the ground. Should be just a patch that's a little bit sort of darker, just like over here. Just like this patch right here. I guess I could just get some firewood instead. Not seeing any peat. No, there might be some sort of over here. There's some more ruins there. This might be peat. This looks like it's a tree, probably. This might be peat. Well, let's swing north. I don't want to get too close to these cliffs because then I'm gonna have to climb them. But let's swing north and see if we can see any peat on the way home, which is like in this direction. Obviously mark down more vegetables and stuff too. Be very nice. Oh, here's some peat! Yes! Awesome. Yeah, see, with this map, sometimes you can see it, sometimes not so much. We mark peat with a star, and actually I need to unpin this blue clay and change its symbol because I used the 4-sided star for the clay. But let's gather this peat. Let's get, probably like fill the inventory with it, to be honest, just so I have a lot. And peat can't be turned into charcoal, and it can't be used for smelting because it doesn't burn hot enough. But it's gonna be just a fantastic source. It can't even be used to make a campfire. You actually do need logs, like firewood, to make a campfire for some reason. Even if you have plenty of peat to burn, I guess maybe in real life peat just doesn't start very easily and you need to start it with something else. I don't know. But all I know is that you can't start a campfire with peat. But having a whole bunch is going to be fantastic. I mean, if the campfire is already there, I could use a fire starter or a torch on it and use peat as the fuel. But like in the process of making a campfire, like when you place down the dry grass and everything, heat doesn't work for some reason. But it's just going to be a nice, easy source of fuel. It's very abundant in the world, and having a whole bunch of it stocked up is going to ensure that I never run out of fuel for cooking, at the very least. And we can't really cook until we start clay forming and firing the clay formed items in pit kilns. So the next thing I'm going to do when I get home is build some pit kilns. And I have cave-ins enabled, which is going to make it very interesting trying to mine. That's going to make the late game significantly more difficult for me, which I made it that way intentionally because I wanted the early game to be a little easier. Because, like I said, I've been playing this game for a little while and it's pretty difficult. And I just wanted to make sure that I could actually get established and, get a video made without just like a constant struggle. What is this, flax? So I wanted the early game to be a little bit easier on top of what I've learned about how to do it. But in exchange, I made the late game hopefully harder. I haven't even reached the late game is the thing, so I don't know really, but hopefully the late game has been made a little bit more difficult and it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But since the early game is going to be a little bit easier, I can actually get established. And that way that, if the late game does end up being pretty difficult and has a learning curve to it, at least I have like a base, an early game base that I can like fall back on, remake my tools and all that stuff if I need to, if I lose them or whatever. I'll be established and it'll be just a little bit easier to go through the late game because of that. So, ooh, this doesn't need a 2 high? Huh. Wait. Oh, it does need a 2 high, but this counts as a 2 high. So you can lean your tools against walls and stuff. Some of them only require 1 block to lean against, but others require 2 blocks, as you can see. Wait, now you will. Okay, that's kind of weird. So wait a minute. If I it won't place on the ground here in this middle block because the backing is just 1 block high. It'll go here because even though the backing is 1 block high, there's a 2 block high wall right here that it thinks it's leaning against. But it will go here if there's another tool there. Okay. Like, whatever. That's fine. Like I said, this game is in development. It's an early access game, so there's gonna be things like that happening. It's a very ambitious game for the mechanics they're trying to introduce and trying to, get to work here. I think this is based on Terra Firma Craft, which is like a Minecraft mod. Yeah, anyway, let's get this meat cooking. So even though the fire is out, I can just take some of this peat, shift click it into the fire, and I can take the fire starter since my torch is out, get the fire started. See, it happened a lot quicker that time compared to how it was earlier. And instead of right-clicking my torch on here, I can actually just put it in the smelting slot and it'll create a lit torch. But I'm going to put my food there instead, and I'll light my torch this way. And I can do that while things are cooking on the fire. Okay, the next thing I want is firewood so I can start making charcoal. And also, I need to get this clay formed and stuck in some pit kilns. So I'm going to build the pit kilns over here next to this hill. Sort of dig out a flat wall here. Now, pit kilns will get put out by rain, so I'm going to make sure they get covered. And then just 1 block apart each. And now we can start clay forming. So the first thing I'm going to form is 2 raw cooking pots. I don't need 4 of them. I just want 2. And this clay forming works exactly the way as flint knapping does. You put your clay on the ground, you pick your tool or whatever you're going to make, and it'll give you a template to work on. You remove blocks, add blocks. Obviously for clay forming, it's mostly adding. And it has these different, ways, right? You got the 1x1, the 2x2, the 3x3, and then duplicate layer. And the duplicate layer mode is very useful for tall things like this. So there's 1 raw cooking pot. I can take that, stick it in my pit kiln, make another one real quick. Now this stuff really does look intimidating, but it's really easy once you get the hang of it, and it happens very, very quickly. Like, you can craft these things pretty quickly, but it still does take some time. It's never going to be as simple as just throwing something in a crafting grid. Even crafting tools requires you, what you do in the crafting grid requires you to craft the tool head first, which is done through knapping or forging or smelting and molding, which we'll get into all of that later on. But I just want to, at the moment, let's see, I've got myself established, I've got my bed in there, I've got some stuff. The next thing I really want to do is make charcoal so that I'll have it when I'm ready to start smelting. But let's get these pit kilns started first. So after I make my cooking pots, I'm going to want to make some crocks. And I'm going to make 4 of them at once. I hope I have enough clay for this. I'm going to make 4 crocks. And crocks are different from cooking pots. You don't use them to cook, but you use them to store the food once it is cooked. And they can be sealed with animal fat, and their job is to preserve food. So the meals, once they're cooked, will only last in a cooking pot for a couple days at most. But in a crock, they can last over 100 days, especially a sealed crock. A sealed crock in a cellar will have your food preserved for months. And it's going to be a good thing having these crocks and having some meals preserved, because I don't want to spend all of my time hunting and gathering food and making sure that I have fresh food, and I don't want to make a whole bunch of food just to have it spoil. So we make these crocks, place them in a pit kiln. The next thing I want is a pickaxe mold and a hammer mold. The pickaxe and the hammer are going to be how we enter Copper Age. This pickaxe mold, I'm going to gather some copper bits and smelt them using the charcoal that I'm going to make. And once I have the pickaxe, I'm also going to need a hammer, and I'll make that mold next. But with the pickaxe and the hammer, I might need another pit kiln because I'm going to need some plates too. With the pickaxe and the hammer, I can dig up chunks of copper that are going to be a little bit bigger than the bits, and those chunks can be broken up with a hammer. I can't smelt them until I break them with the hammer, which is why I need both. And these 2 molds, the hammer and the pickaxe, it's going to require 40 bits of copper. And I've really only found like maybe 10. I don't remember how many were in that little deposit. I could go around and find more copper surface deposits and get bits of copper that way. And that is a viable option since I made the copper bit spawning a little more common. I made it uncommon instead of rare. But I can also do panning. I can pan for copper and other materials as well. The next thing I need is bowls for my food. This kind of mundane, repetitive task, it's actually kind of calming. I really, really like the early game flow in this game. I really like how it feels to have to repeatedly, nap out tools and clay form. And once we get to forging is really fun. All right, there's my bowls. I can put 2 of those in here. And I can put another 2 of them in here. And what I need to do is fill these pit kilns with dry grass, sticks, which I definitely don't have enough sticks, or dry grass probably, and either firewood or peat will do the trick. So let me get these started, if I can, before the sun sets. Let's get some sticks. It's 4 to 8 sticks per pit kiln, depending on what you have in it, I think. Now that these leaves aren't connected to the ground anymore, they should start decaying on their own. And they should drop sticks. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no, 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 no. He took out half my health in one hit. Where did he go? What the hell? Oh, there he is. Yep. Yep, that's our neighbor. Just took out half of my health in one hit. I'm just trying to get sticks, bro. Man, he's right outside my home. Okay, so what I need to do now is it's right outside my little hill home. Hello, I'm working here, buddy. Well, I can't let him hit me again because we're not going to spawn back at that bed. We're going to spawn um over by the spawn point, and I don't want to be over there when the sun is setting. So, good thing I have this torch. I'm gonna come over here and nap out some arrowheads. I do have some feathers. Oh, my cooked meat. Ah, okay. We're gonna make a bow. Can I make it with this? I need more cattails, I think. Okay. Pretty sure I used cattails to make rope. It might be dry grass. But I can go ahead and make a bow. It's a good thing I picked the hunter class. I think the hunter class is probably one of the best ones to start with because you can make a bow. You can hunt. Okay, so I need 3 of these. I need 3 ropes. Oh boy. Okay, more reeds. Chances are by the time I finish this and get over there to take him out, he's gonna be gone. He'll just like have moved on. But he does like live right next to me. We are neighbors, so he'll come back. I gotta take him out, and I'll also hopefully get some hides and some good food from him too. And hopefully my crocks and my cooking pots will be done in the kiln before his meat goes bad, and that way I can actually make some meals from this guy. So I actually can't eat the meat off of a moose. The amount of meat that that thing is going to give me, I can't eat all of that if I just, cook it. I can't eat all of it before it goes bad. I have to store it or some of it's going to go to waste. 1, 2, 3. And here's a bow. Excellent. We'll keep that in the first slot. And I need to nap out some arrowheads. Arrowheads are kind of confusing. This is a bit of a mess. It's even worse forging them, but you get used to it. You get efficient over time. Knock all of that out. Knock all of that out. Just kind of slowly get rid of little bits and pieces. And you can't actually take out, like I'm clicking on these arrowhead pieces and it doesn't do anything. So if you make a mistake, it's not really a mistake. Okay. There's six arrows to start with. I can make 12. And I need to eat. Just gonna eat all of these berries. Regen some health. I regened a little bit, but similar to Minecraft, your hunger has to be full in order for you to regen health. There is a mod that I'm kind of interested in. that revamps hunger and gives you a whole like real impactful nutrition system. And like it actually takes months to starve to death in this mod, but you'll slowly get debuffs over time that make the game more difficult as you start to starve. And the debuffs like don't go away until you get all of your nutritional needs met. And there's some nutrition in this game. You can see there's fruit, veg, grain, protein, dairy. Right now I'm living entirely off of fruits. And so my satiation goes down quicker. I think that's basically the issue with not, eating just one kind of food. Your hunger is going to go down a lot quicker than if I had all of these bars sort of balanced. So I could eat some grain, and that would make this grain thing go up a little bit more. That would be good. But really, what I want to do is make meals. That's going to be the thing that gets my nutritional needs the most met. And let's plant these 2 seeds here. There we go. Now it's nighttime. I don't. I want to sleep. It's a really good thing that I set that grace period for the monsters because. Okay, so let's make a couple more spears as well because I can actually throw spears, and they do a pretty good amount of damage. I really don't want to be fighting this moose at night because I'm really not going to be able to see anything. It's a good thing I have the torch, but what I want to do is try to get into my little hole in the ground. Okay, so I got a couple more spears there. Try to regen more health. We're just gonna, take it slow. I'm gonna keep my eyes on the mini map to make sure that I know when I'm getting close. And chances are he's moved back. They don't tend to wander out of their territory too far unless they're chasing something. And that guy didn't chase me, so let's keep the bow out. Is this my hole? I think this is my hole. Okay. Let's sleep. Jeez, man. I just wanted some sticks for my pit kilns. Okay. Oh. Jesus Christ. Why are you... Why? I live here. Please. So because I have the hunter traits, I can run a little bit... Why are the pigs attacking me now? Come on. Probably has a baby with it. This, however, is just a male moose that doesn't like me. The females, I think, will run away, but the males will, like, straight up attack. Oh my god, dude. The pig didn't do as much damage as the moose would. Oh, there we go. Ah, yeah, that's a male moose. And now I have its corpse in my front yard. But I can take these hides and I can oil one of them. So I only have one lump of fat. But you see, he gave me so much meat. I'm not gonna be able to eat all of this meat before it goes bad. But I will just sort of place it in here. This chicken is gonna be fresh for 14 hours. This is good for 3 days. Okay. What I'd really like is more baskets, but I need more reeds for that. Um, and we can place this oiled hide just in here on the ground. And over the course of a couple days, that'll turn into a pelt. This guy's gonna give me like 3 bones, I bet. 4! Again, I can't really use bones right now. I don't know what to do with them, so it's a little bit of a waste of inventory space. I wish I had another piece of animal fat. Maybe I can find that pig. Where's that pig? Give me your fat, please. Ugh. Okay. Please have some fat on you. Yeah. All right. Let's oil that big boy. Let's oil that big boy up. And I guess I can oil another one of these. These fat chunks, they're gonna be what I use to seal Crocs as well. So, um, if I didn't need a backpack really badly, let me go back and gather my arrows up as well. If I didn't need more storage space in my inventory, if I wasn't aiming for that, I would keep these lumps of fat. And they don't go bad. For some reason, they're not perishable. So I could keep them and use them to seal my Crocs. Let's place a couple of these down here and let's get, set our tools down. And we've got some oiled hides. Just stick those on the ground. Excellent. Okay. Now that Mr. Moose is gone and I am a little bit more combat ready, I can get those sticks for the pit kilns. I used a bunch of sticks making arrows and spears. So that was a net negative, but that's all right. Just make some more knives. Seems like I lost 6 of my arrows in that. I could probably go out and pick them up. I think they're probably still going to be out here, but they do also break sometimes. There's a chance of breakage. I mean, good luck finding the arrows in this dense grass. Was that one of them? Oh yeah, that was one of them. Oh. You know what? I'll leave you alone. You can live. Whee! Oh my. Yeah, so if I didn't have the hunter trait, taking down that moose would have been significantly more difficult. This bow really saved my butt. And honestly, the main issue in this game for me with the early game is just the animals. It's like, I mean, you could set them to not be aggressive, where they, either never attack or they only attack if you attack them. But I like the realism of if you come across a bear, it's like really, really dangerous. Like it could two-shot you. That moose almost two-shot me. So I like the realism. I like the sense of danger. I like the challenge with it. But the problem is that they spawn like all over the place. Like it's kind of hard to find a place to settle down that doesn't have animals encroaching on your territory. So you've got to be ready in the early game to be able to, handle them and take them down. So that's why I went with the hunter class. There might be a bear over here. I know that bears kind of spawn in this area. This is a bear spawn area. But maybe it's not spawned yet. If I spend some time over here, I'm sure it'll spawn. Okay, do I have enough sticks? I don't think 20 is going to be enough. Is that a deer? Oh, little deer. Okay, I don't think 20 is going to be enough sticks, but we'll see. I need first dry grass. And I want to get cooking and sealing things first. So let me make sure that I am... Okay, so it's 8. I need 4 more sticks. Oh, there's another moose. I hope that's not a male moose. I could probably take it out if I wanted to, but I don't need the meat right now. I have too much meat. If it was wolves, now I would not want to settle down next to wolves, even with the hunter trait, because wolves, you get 1 wolf, and then next thing you know, you get 2 wolves, and then next thing you know, there's like 6 puppies, and they're all growing up, and wolves get more aggressive when there's puppies around. And yeah, if it was wolves, it would be a really big issue, and all of the wolves will attack except for the puppy. Moose, a little bit easier to deal with. Even a bear is a little bit easier to deal with because it's usually just 1 bear. Wolves, you get a whole pack of wolves and you just straight up can't live there anymore. You gotta move. That's what happened to me in one of my previous playthroughs. Okay, now I have even even more. This is going to be fresh for 2 days. This is fresh for 1. So let's just go ahead and cook it up. Let's get that cooking. Get some more berries. Make sure that health gets all the way up. And with these sticks... Alright, so that's those pit kilns filled up. I don't have enough sticks to do the other ones, so we're not going to start those just yet. But the last thing I need is either some firewood or peat, and since I have so much peat, we're just going to take a whole bunch of that. Stick it on top of these pit kilns. And now pit kilns, once they're on fire, once they're lit, they will light other things nearby on fire, so I'm gonna make sure I get rid of some of this dry grass. And this stuff grows fast, so I'm gonna have to like keep my eye on it, make sure that no grass grows up here and starts burning down all of this stuff. I do not want to start a field fire. Okay, now let's get these started. Okay, well, those are started now. I don't have these started. I'll get those started next time, but I think that's it for this play session. I did a lot, you know, got established. This is just the early game. I haven't even tried or found any, or gathered any metals yet, but next episode, we'll get started on, first of all, making sure that I have plenty of meals. See, the protein bar went up a little bit, but I'm going to want to balance these out and make sure that I get all of them. Dairy is going to take a while. Dairy is probably going to happen once we're well into the Bronze Age. But next episode, we're going to get into meal making and then probably start in the Copper Age, get some copper going, get our first copper tools, and we'll go from there. Probably also make this area look a little bit nicer. But this is a pretty good start. We're pretty well established. We even already have a farm and a bunch of food to cook when the time comes, when those are done firing. And yeah, if you liked this video, be sure to give it a like, sub to the channel, as there's more of this content coming in the future. This has been Foog. This has been Vintage Story. Thank you so much for watching, and have a peaceful day.